Welcome to Explain America. This is your host, Kyle Becker. Well, DC was just the beginning, and you can cue the wailing and the gnashing of teeth because there are other blue cities that are crime-ridden, and Trump is going to target them next. But before we get into this announcement, please like, share, and comment Explain America. We appreciate your support for common sense journalism. Well, President Donald Trump is expanding his crime-fighting operation across the United States, much to the travail and the anguish of Democrats who don't want to see Trump take any credit for cleaning up their horrible cities. So Donald Trump, in his announcement, said, well, in DC, you saw the results. You saw in nearly a week there were no homicides. Violent crime diving by, I think it was 40% violent crime, 40% in that regard. And there were a number of other crimes, such as material crimes, such as carjackings and vandalism and other types of crimes have gone way down in DC. So Trump wants to double down on that, and it seems like a master stroke because Trump is going to trigger all of these Democrats into revealing that they don't care about the crime rates in their cities because they haven't done anything about them for decades in some cases. And if you want to look at one of the prime examples of a crime-ridden city that, look, it's been a great city. Chicago used to be the city of big shoulders. Now it's the city of corrupt politicians. And Democrats have run that like a machine forever and have ignored the crime in the inner city. And, they have really let the voters down. And if you look at the demographics of the different voters in these cities, they have been abandoned and betrayed by the Democratic Party. You know why? Because it's a cynical game to Democrats. They only care about money, power, lining their own pockets, privilege, prestige. They do not care about people, and they're proving it with their reaction to Donald Trump and his efforts to make their cities safe again.
What the president is claiming that he wants troops to do, they don't even have the authority to do it. They have no arresting powers.
The mayor responding to President Donald Trump, who said he'll be expanding National Guard deployments to cities other than Washington.
Chicago's a mess. You have an incompetent mayor, grossly incompetent, and we'll straighten that one out probably next. That'll be our next one after this.
The president's Oval Office comments come as Chicago police data shows overall crime since the first of the year is down 13% compared to the same period last year, and violent crime is down 23%.
I think he wants to provoke violence, because if he can provoke violence, then it's going to be martial law.
Turning the federal military on American citizens is a sign of authoritarianism.
The president claiming many in Chicago want the Guard.
Screaming for us to come. They're wearing red hats, just like this one, but they're wearing red hats. African-American ladies, beautiful ladies, are saying, please, President Trump, come to Chicago.
Thank you, President Donald Trump, for hearing us.
Zoe Lee and Daniel Carter Walters founded the conservative group Chicago Flips Red and says despite CPD's numbers, many don't feel safe.
And if the Democrat Party, only thing they can do to help us is tell us crime is down, then hey, we welcome the National Guard.
So they can whine and complain all they want. They're just helping Donald Trump ahead of the midterms. And that's an interesting thing also. Donald Trump may single-handedly save the Republicans from the abyss in the midterm elections because they dug themselves quite a hole. Speaker Johnson has been a feckless, I won't go so far as to call him a failed leader, but he has, continued to spend money that we don't have. He has caved to Democrats on a number of occasions. We've kind of forgotten about Speaker Johnson. He's out of the limelight, which is a good thing for the Republican Party. You don't want Speaker Johnson or John Thune in the Senate to be the faces of the Republican Party. You need Donald Trump. So while Donald Trump is riding high and his approval is getting higher because, well, not just because of this crime initiative, but because he's sincerely trying to get peace overseas and to stop funding and being involved in proxy wars overseas. I mean, that's a great thing. Everyone, regardless of party, should be supporting that. But a lot of people can't see past their blind spot. They just have been told that Donald Trump is bad at character and they don't like him for that reason. But if you look at Donald Trump, I think you have to really give him credit that he is well-intentioned. This is what is getting missed in the TDS media. He intends good things for the American people. He wants to secure the borders. What does that mean? That means shutting down human trafficking, shutting down fentanyl smuggling that's killing 10,000 teenagers in the United States every year. He wants to shut this down. He wants to stop the human suffering that happened with these child migrants coming into the United States, being exploited, being trafficked, being lost, because the Biden administration didn't care enough. They just cared about smuggling in as many illegal immigrants as they could to juice their census numbers and to get more political representation and power. I mean, it's really disgraceful. And Donald Trump never did anything like that. All it's been rumors and innuendo from a 90 to 95% negative media in the major news media, excluding Fox News, Newsmax, in the predominant left-wing media. It's been 90 to 95% negative media. Meanwhile, we have more peace, we have more prosperity, inflation is down, borders being secured, crime-ridden cities are being cleaned up. I don't think objectively there's anything you can really qualm about that. And it's really absurd that we have to entertain these delusional Democrats and these left-wing pundits on TV who are in fantasy land. They are trying to create a narrative world, a narrative bubble, and try to keep people inside that bubble. But because of the advent of the internet and because of the way social media is right now, and thankfully we have places where it's not as much censorship, people at least are getting exposed to reality. They're getting exposed to alternative narratives and viewpoints and conservative views like your own. So please like and share and comment on this story. We appreciate your voice and amplifying it and getting the message out. So thank you.